The best way to predict the future is to create it. A quote from Abraham Lincoln opens today's podcast.
Hi freshmen! This time we are going to dig out more on various career alternatives that you can choose once you are entering university life. Probably some of you will have this thought, wait what? I'm just getting started and now I have to think about my career choice? Well, let's go back to the Abraham Lincoln quote in the beginning. That quote means that the way we predict our future is by creating it. In other words, if you want to make that choice in 4 years, then you need to get ready and you need to start now. They say the sooner the better, right? Before we start the session, let me introduce myself first. I'm Della Hernita from Employability and Entrepreneurship Department, BINUS at Senayan. And in this 20 minutes podcast session, I'll guide you to explore more about the career choices that you can take. For your information, BINUS University acknowledges 3 career paths for our graduates, and that are working in a global company, being an entrepreneur, or pursuing further study. Right now, we have here with us our honorable guest speaker with her inspiring stories that can be an insight for you all who might have planned on working as an employee. Today's podcast guest, Costella Lukita. She's one of BINUS University alumni. Recently, she's working at HSBC as the AVP Business Management for Global Trade and Receivable Finance. Hello, Costella. It's an honor to have today's talk with you. How are you?
Hi, Madela. Thank you for inviting and thank you for the opportunity to talk today. I'm fine. Thank you for asking. I'm still working from home in this current condition. Grateful that I am still healthy and still have work to do.
Good to hear that. One of the most asked questions for BINUS alumni is, what year did you earn your bachelor's degree?
Oh, I was exactly in this freshman position 10 years ago.
Oh my God.
Sounds like a long time ago. Yeah.
And then time flies, yeah?
Yes. So
What
I
was your
started.
major?
Yeah, I started as international business major student
Okay.
back in 2010.
Uh-huh.
I graduated 4 years later in 2014. So it was a very enriching 4 years of my life. I gained a lot of experience and, of course, new friends as well in business.
Oh, good to hear that. Could you share with us your career journey? How did you get where you are now, like that?
Sure. So as Badela has already stated in the introduction, I'm currently working as the AVP of Business Management for Global Trade and Receivables Finance. So this might sound quite foreign for some of you that are not familiar with banking industry. So basically, I'm working in the department serving commercial and corporate customers. So we are serving businesses and not personal banking. Specifically, what we do is we provide financing or loans to businesses when they are purchasing their raw materials in order to produce their goods and also to finance their sales to their suppliers. We also have some products that will help their export and import financing needs. That's what I'm doing right now. So if I can share also like how I started my career in HSBC.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I started working in HSBC Indonesia right after graduation from BINUS. It was back in 2014. I joined the management trainee program by HSBC Indonesia. So it's soon to be my 6th year with the bank, and I haven't moved since. Yeah, and within this 5 to 6 years in a bank, I have tried a lot of different roles in different departments, which is the part of management trainee program in HSBC. So as a new joiner, for the first 2 years, we were being rotated across different departments, serving different roles. Sometimes it could be customer facing, sometimes it would be support roles, sometimes it could be analytical roles. So the idea is in order to give us a holistic view of what banking industry is. And all this assignment in different teams has helped me to learn tremendously about banking industry. which honestly I knew nothing about when I graduated from international business.
Because it's quite different, right? From your major international business to the banking industry.
Yeah, I think we learned just a little bit about banking in international business major, and I don't know whether we only learned a bit or I did not pay a lot of attention to the subject back in back in university because I had no idea I would go into banking industry.
So, looking back on your college experience, it does seem like you enjoying your college life. You were the chief of the mentor for the freshman enrichment program, and then was it intended as one of the experience you can tell later on at your employment interview? How did you how did being a chief of mentor then affect you in your career now?
Oh, okay. What a question. So the first part of it, yep. I enjoyed a lot of my days in Venus. Had a lot of new friends, joined a lot of activities. If we are talking about my experience as chief of mentor for the freshman enrichment program, or maybe you guys call it first year program now.
Yes.
Yeah,
No.
FYP. Yeah, definitely. It was a very good learning experience for me. So back then, being a chief of mentor meant that I had to work with different parties. So first, I had to engage with the learning department who prepared the material, the slides, and what are the messages to be conveyed to the students. Second, I also had to work with fellow mentors, which are my friends from my batches across different majors. So I definitely gained a lot of new friends there, of which I might have not been interacting in like usual classes. And also the challenging part is to actually stand in front of the class and to deliver the presentation to the whole class. Because it was challenging because I know that being the first year student, we usually don't take this seriously. So I worried that I couldn't get their attention. How could I handle, the chit chatting at the back of the class,
I know.
and getting myself seen, quote unquote, delivering the material to them. So the delivery part is challenging itself, but the more important point is that I also need to ensure that the key messages, which have been prepared by the learning team and the lecturers, are being conveyed well, and whatever the intended message are being received by the students so that they can benefit from this program.
Oh yes, sure.
What
an experience.
No, but I'm glad that I went through that experience. I'm glad that I actually took up that opportunity because unknowingly, so 7 to 8 years from since then, I in my current role, I also had to do presentation, and I also needed to give out training for my whole department. So it was a good practice. Yeah, in
Practice, yes.
it was a good practice, and also so talking in front of the whole class is challenging. Secondly, to deliver it in English is also challenging.
Yes,
So,
right.
so I'm grateful for the opportunity. So it was a very enriching experience. And just last year, I had to be a trainer in HSBC Hong Kong.
Wow.
So while doing that training, I honestly had a flashback of that FEP days when I had to deliver training in front of the freshmen.
Oh, wow. Okay, so from your experience, what set of skills did you need to hone for your career growth? Like you can tell by your experience so far.
Okay, I think when we are talking about skills for career growth, we can clearly define it to two things, which maybe a lot of these freshmen will have heard from the preparation class in BINUS. So firstly, you will have to learn and keep advancing your soft skills. such as your communication skill, public speaking skill, negotiation skill, project management. You can name it. There are a lot of it. However, in learning soft skills, sometimes you cannot read it just by the book. There are a lot of self-help books out there. There are a lot of tips and tricks. However, what I learned from being at work is that a lot of these soft skills can also be learned by observing my bosses, my managers, who I consider my mentors at work, because they are more experienced and they have achieved a greater career advancement than I have.
Okay.
That's one soft skill. Soft skill is really, really important, and I think that's one of the key factor in order for you to keep advancing in your career and your work or in life in general. But
Yeah. It's right.
don't get mistaken. It is also important to keep learning new hard skill. So it also depends on the field of work you're doing. So if you are in IT related industry, you can try to learn, I don't know, programming or new advancement in IT. If like for me in banking, there are also a lot of skills such as financial analytical skill, how to analyze a financial statement, how to calculate how to calculate financial risk and all that. Specific to my role, there are other certified internationally certified courses which we can take online, specific to trade finance, and these certifications are recognized internationally. So whenever you take this kind of certification and you want to work um, overseas, maybe they will recognize that, oh yes, you have completed this course, which means you will have an ample knowledge of technical skills,
Yes.
and an expert in your own field.
Yes, right. So, other than those soft skills, the most important one, and then the hard skills, uh, we need the right attitude if we want to be accepted positively in our job, right? So, can you share some examples? What kind of attitudes or good attitudes do we need to apply in our workplace?
Oh, sure. I think the word right attitude is sometimes too broad, or people might not have an idea of what are
What
the
kind?
right attitude. Yeah,
Yes.
how do we define right
Good
attitude?
attitude.
Yeah, but so far, what I've been doing is that I found that the HSBC company values encompasses the right kind of work ethos that we need to have. Each company usually have their own company values and culture, right?
Yes.
But to share from my personal experience, where I'm working right now, we are always reminded of just the three words of the values. One is to be open. Second is to be dependable. Third is to be connected. So, what does it mean to be open? In this current situation, business landscape is very dynamic. We cannot predict what will happen tomorrow or a month, a year from now. For example, like this COVID outbreak, none of us had imagined that the world is going to be turned upside down this way, not having to be able to go outside. So always be open to new changes and challenges. Always open to new ideas. Always stay open minded. So
Okay.
it will encourage you to be able to adapt quickly and survive in work. So
Yes.
that's the meaning of being open. Secondly is to be dependable.
Dependable.
Being dependable, for me personally, is I think is to give comfort to those working with you, or to to your boss that has given the task to you, that you will try your best. At least you will have to try your best. You might not know always how to solve it by yourself, um, but that's all right. As long as you have the responsibility to voice out the challenges that you meet, and quickly find help or find new solution, or discuss with your boss on how to solve this quickly, right?
Okay.
And also dependable sometimes also mean that you can be trusted to speak up whenever you see something wrong, because in banking, eventually banking is a business of trust. So if we see something something is wrong, there is a wrong conduct in office, or there is a wrong way of us treating our customers, being dependable is also needed in order for us to voice out this wrong conduct, so that we can keep the trust of our customers and stakeholders. So the third one is always to stay connected. Stay connected means you will have to have an open communication with other stakeholders, because in my everyday life, and I believe in a lot of almost all companies or offices, we every day we need to interact, and we will have to work together with different stakeholders to complete a task or achieving a goal, right? So if we keep a very good relationship, we have a good rapport with our stakeholders, that will help a lot in order to pave a smoother way to achieve a goal. Yeah, hope that explains.
That explains a lot, actually. So we've already heard a lot from you for, on examples and experience that. Uh, Before we end our session, what piece of advice would you give to all freshmen who are hearing this and aspire to have a career advancement like you?
Okay. First, I think is that the freshmen this year will have to be grateful for the team that has prepared this enrichment program, getting different speakers for to introduce various options once you can graduate from Venus International. Like you can go further your studies, taking masters, or you can be entrepreneur or work in a global company, just like myself. At least it gives some sort of ideas or clearer options that you can take. I think back in my days, 10 years ago, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I have no idea whether I wanted to be an entrepreneur or not. I think I share the same mindset as the freshmen that are maybe listening to this podcast right now. What do I need to do? I have no idea. I don't care right now. I just want to go to university, have fun for 4 years, then we'll think about it later. But please, start thinking about it early, because early preparation will mean that you will have a better start when you're going to your career. So, in order to have a good career advancement, to reiterate the point that have been discussed in previous question, is have the right attitude. That's the underlying requirement, I think. In offices, I've seen some people that are very good in his field, or very good in her knowledge. However, sometimes it's not very pleasant to work with them. So always try to be the person that everyone wants to work with. By doing so, I think a lot of opportunities of career advancement will eventually come to you, because a lot of people will be willing to offer you a better job, better role, because they like working with you. Because at work, we sometimes spend, I think, more time in office than we spend at home.
Exactly.
Yes, so the right attitude will bring you to higher places. I guarantee that. The second thing is that I think as the freshman, try to make great use of your time as undergraduate student in Business International. I've been there, trust me. The university has a lot of great lecturers who are very generous in sharing their knowledge and experience. So they are willing to explain the concept that you don't understand. They also can share their experience from working in that field, and a lot of them are actually experts. So it's up to you to own it, and in order for you to grasp as much as possible knowledge out of those lecturers. Third one is that I encourage you to join the different student activities in Business International. There are a lot of organizational experience. There are a lot of committees. I think there will still be competitions. Yeah. Um,
Yes,
just go and
just
try.
like you.
Just go and try and take part, participate. You can be the committee, you can join the competition, and yeah, take part in external competition. Raise up your hand whenever there are new opportunities that are being given to you, because you will never know, or you might not realize at that time that it could be a very enriching experience. But trust me, it will eventually help you in your further career. And lastly, I think the employability and entrepreneurship team might have prepared different programs throughout your study in BINUS. One of that, I'm sure, is internship program. I really urge you to do this well, because by doing internship, you will be able to see for yourself how the real working life is. Because whenever you are still an undergraduate student, you might think like you're inside a bubble. You don't know how to apply whatever skill that you've learned now in the real life working experience. So go ahead, do internship. Try to, if you would like to work in a global company, or working in a corporation, that's in doing internship is a very great door opener for you. So just to share, actually my career in HSBC started off from internship program. So that's how I the
I remember
opportunity.
that time.
Yeah, yeah. I think it was Miss Della, yeah, who offered and informed us of the opportunity to intern in HSBC. So again, thank you to you, Miss Della. It has changed my life. So by doing internship, you eventually will get to know, for example, the HR person in that company, or someone that might be your future boss. Or you can try, maybe they're so impressed by your work during the internship that they can offer you a permanent job offer, maybe even before you graduate. So that is a good start for you to go into the career that you want. So yep, those are my advice.
It's not a piece of advice. It's a good of advice, actually, Style. So, all right. Well, there you have it. Great advice from Costella to all of you, aspiring employees. We hope that those who are on their way, carving out your path to be an employee in a global company, could find this podcast session to be useful and informative. Most importantly, we hope you would feel more inspired and motivated. Just remember to keep an open mind towards every available option. Thank you so much for such an inspiring session today, Castella. Just like what Lincoln said, hopefully this session could be a good start for our freshmen to create a greater future. And of course, we thank all freshmen who have listened to this podcast session. Don't forget, we still have 2 other podcast series about exploring your career, pursuing further study, or becoming an entrepreneur. So, make sure you don't miss it, everyone. Stay healthy, stay motivated, and excited about experiencing the whole activities in the first year program. Keep in mind that FYP begin happy. I'm Della. Have a great day.